Welcome, dear listeners, to this broadcast out of Copenhagen from our 6 countries in Fellowmind. We have been looking very much forward to show you stuff actually as a part of a Copilot AI envisioning from Fellowmind to the European market, but actually globally. We have had listeners in the previous sessions that comes from industries large and small, but also from other regions. With me, I have the most important person, again, Jesper Osgaard.
Thank you, Michael.
And I will try to facilitate. My name is Michael Schmidt. I guess there hasn't been that much weight in a newcomer on the block within digital capabilities than AI and Copilot ever. So we are in the midst of trying out how to get started. Are we missing stuff, etc.? We'll get back to that. Today, we are running this broadcast as a part of a series. As I said, last week, we had on the table customer service. And today, we will dig into what most people, of course, call marketing, but actually, in the Microsoft brand name is Customer Insights. And again, remember, marketing is not only to sell more, it is the right communication at the right moment that brings value, whether it would be loyalty building, important communication to your partners in a manufacturing industry, or it could be new products or whatever. So marketing's offers are quite widespread into different functions of an enterprise. As I said, this is a part of a series that we have been running, and I would like you to note that you can go back and see these nice recordings, including this one, on our landing page, Fellowmind, and of course in our well-known series of broadcasts and playlists on YouTube. Since the release of AI, where we have been at the very first touch with Microsoft and on the jumpstart in Denmark, for instance, as the partner, we have already captured numbers and benefits from the tryouts. But I'd like to start to get back to, so how does this fit into spending money? We see the proof already, but also our mission, our promise actually is to making people enjoy working with technology and make technology work for them. We have been in the midst of trying out, finding the pitfalls, etc., with enterprise customers and small organizations since it hit the table from Microsoft. And therefore, we are, as we speak, accelerating to deliver on this promise. And I can reveal that it is more than a new kid on the block. I would even say, as they said in BBC, I heard BBC very early in the morning from the World Economic Forum, it brings the question to, are you ready to invent yourself again? As an organization or as a user? Nice or scary? So we will see so many business cases proved going forward. I'll stretch a few that was on the series as well. Numbers speak. But are we talking solely productivity? And yes, but we are not. So the abbreviated advantages of stepping into this field goes into, do we actually deliver a better quality? Getting Copilot within how we work. This we do actually. So it's not just a tiny abbreviated value capture. It is important to look at how many cases did you solve, but what's the quality of the responses if you talk customer service. So don't forget quality. Another thing is, for those of you who already know us deep, you know we go deep, with passion, with commitment into value capturing for you users, no matter what kind of software is part of your enterprise architecture and your UI, your digital workplace. And here we talk digital employee experience. Is it better and nicer to work when you have Copilot? It is a new thing for your eyeballs, but so important to get the skills built up and running, to get your decisions made for the principles, for the governance, and don't be afraid because your IT and your IT partner has, shortly put, figured it out how to get this up in the air without running into big obstacles or, worst case, a data shitstorm. Therefore, in the end of this broadcast, we'll just shortly stress some good advice to get started, and this goes for any Copilot feature, because Copilot lives in any of Microsoft's softwares, and as you all know, the big vendors, technology vendors in the world, they are embedding AI. I think that were the general intro. Then I would like to have you to notice yesterday's broadcast on DSB, the railroad provider in Denmark. What this case shows is actually, it was to try out productivity and quality and the way you work. And 4 out of 5 found it easier to begin task without starting from scratch. So you better get on the task instead of taking a deep breath and say, okay, next one. And there are many reasons for that. Watch the broadcast. Also, 9 out of 10 said it was easier to actually complete new types of tasks. So here we are talking about daily work, easier, but also new tasks. And everybody can reckon or probably think has to do with you actually get relevant stuff right in front of your eyeballs to get going on a new challenge. We'll get back to that actually also within the marketing space. A second case that also was previous in the series, some of you might have seen it, Novo Nordisk, which is, I know it's the most valuable company in Europe, but the most important thing is when you see the broadcast, you'll see a very interesting onboarding of 5,000 tryout colleagues in Novo Nordisk, and how they managed to try out how much value does this bring us, what about the skills built. It's a quite rich POC and tryout. I encourage you to step in and watch the recording. And here you have the numbers. Also, quite almost 3/3 of them felt that it was a Copilot allows them to complete tasks faster. That's productivity, but also on the quality side, you will see findings. With that intro, we today will dig into Dynamics Marketing, now called Custom Insights. Numbers are coming in from the world market. You and I just said, which one do we think is interesting? Look into this one, the Kodak. They really have been trying out the Copilot that we will show you now. And they have been saving quite a lot of waste time and have gained a lot of productivity and quality gain, leveraging several of the things you will show them now, Jesper.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, Copilot and the trying out is about people. It's about setting the right plan. We'll come back to that. So even though it might seem scary, etc., normal people, normal organizations can make a plan. And we're ready to help you. And we are local, as most of you know, 40 locations, 6 countries. So get a hold on us if you feel like trying out. I guess that's the intro.
Yeah, and we could switch to my screen, I hope, for the rest of the presentation at least. So, yeah, Michael touched a little bit about who we are. We are present in 6 countries with a lot of employees, many specialists into what we're covering today, marketing. So reach out if you want to discuss projects with us. As Michael touched upon, the value of AI, quality, experience, and productivity, and in the cutting point or the sharing space between all of these, the value for users of the app. So we will show you in the realm of a process how quality, productivity, and experience can be experienced for the marketeers. So we've put up this simple process from the moment you defined an audience for your marketing efforts, a segment, via the creation of content. You and I all know that it can be cumbersome to come up with compelling content. What do we put into the body text of an email to be compelling and interesting to the recipients of the email? Then comes styling and theming, how to style so we are consistent with the color schemes of our company. Fonts and what have you can be a little bit cumbersome also to cover this manually. And then last but not least, when you have decided for your audience and you have created your content, you will want to send out the messages in the realm of a journey. So there's a journey optimization at the end of this process. This is quite a simple process, one of many in marketing, but we can show you for today how Copilot is infused in this process in the Dynamics Marketing app. So if we start out with the audience targeting, we will want to look at the fact that we can actually enter a natural language prompt into the Copilot and have the Copilot define a segment for us. Obviously, we can build out the segment the usual way in the segment designer by specifying and dragging and dropping and keying in information. But at least for a starter, we can, use the Copilot for segments in the system. And the Copilot looks as such. So if you pump up a new segment in the system, you can, specify a name for the segment. That's what it is. But you can actually, in the query assist box at the end of the dialog, the lower part of the dialog, you can, for instance, put in contacts who submitted a form. And the Copilot will then attempt to create a segment using that specific prompt. And the prompt is reflected when you click next, and then it will, jump to a result saying, hey, marketing form submitted is triggered within the last 28 days. So this is something users of the app will know, that this is how you specify a segment like the one we just defined in a natural prompt. So take that as a learning experience for you, and then the segment builder will then build out the first group for this segment, marketing form submitted, and then there's a little placeholder called at least once in the last 28 days. And then there's an edit link, so you can actually change this if you want it to be within the last 7 days. So you can click edit and then, specify a different interval for this and work from there. And lo and behold, you have your segment with 7 days. So this is a really, a helpful piece for you to build out a segment, getting to know the app, how to build segments. And if we quickly, switch to the app, looks like this. This is the marketing app. So you'll be presented with this, I will assume, well-known user interface for for users of the business apps in Microsoft, we are on the Getting Started page, and having to build a segment or wanting to build a segment will want us to navigate to segments and then start out from there. If you are looking to understand how to use the app, there's a new Copilot infused here, like most of the business apps, so you can actually key in questions here about how to work with this app, how to create segments, how to create emails, how to this and that. So you can ask questions over here. But for now, I will hide the sitemap here. And then we're looking at the grid of segments. I have many, but I've created a filter demo. So creating a new segment is all about going to new and then define a name and then specify the condition for this segment. And yeah, we saw contacts who submitted a form a moment ago. Let's this time go with maybe people who have birthday next month. So that will be another, example of a segment which would require me to understand relative dates and a lot of other criteria for building out a segment. Let's give it a try. So yeah, sure enough, it generated a result saying birthday is next month. And I can simply click use right below, and it generated a segment of birthday is relative date next month. Again, could be considered a learning experience for me, how to build out segments based off of attributes or behavioral information or what have you.
And how easy it is?
It's really, really easy. And, speaking of, segments, there's also a little box at the end of the designer here who can give me an estimate of how many members would be in this segment. It's rolling. Maybe we don't want to wait for this, but once it completes, it'll give you a preview of how many members would be in this segment for you, and you can then start working from there.
Wow.
So this is the audience piece. So you are now, on your way. You've defined a target audience for your messaging, and now you would want to, create a piece of compelling email, or could be SMS, for the audience. It's what we call content creation. You can come up with stuff yourself, I'm sure, but actually the marketing app was one of the first ones to implement ChatGPT. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it has this piece of capability infused, letting you define keywords like you now know from the ChatGPT world, that you can prompt the system to get answers. And just like that, in the marketing app, when you are designing a new email, you can invoke the content Copilot for content ideas. It's right here on the task list over to the right. Click this guy and you'll be presented with the thing called content ideas. And the thing about content ideas is it wants you to describe your content, what it's all about. Provide like 3 keywords or sentences or paragraphs. The more you write, the better. And you can actually add more key points and then click go, and then the system will generate a series of body text that you can actually add to your email, just like from ChatGPT. And you can, select the tone of voice and what have you, so engaged or professional or business or all of this. And sure enough, once it generates the information, the suggestions, you'll be presented with something that, reflects the keywords that you entered into the system. And you'll be presented with, I think it's 5 or more options for you to pick from. You can generate more, you can shorten the thing, you can lengthen the thing. And once you are, ready, decided upon a piece of body text that you want to invoke, you can simply go add to my draft, the button at the upper right.
Yeah.
And then adding to my draft will then open up the canvas for you, showing you a series of blue colored plus icons. Simply click the plus icon closest to the proximity where you want to insert the text. Nice. And then it will insert the text into the email, and you can then, go about adding maybe some placeholders for dynamic text and what have you. Dynamic text.
Yeah.
So if you're a little, short of ideas for content for your messaging, this is a thing for you, and it works, and it's really, really easy to use.
And Jesper, so far you have showed the segmentation. We are down into minutes. Then you show content creation, and my question is, those two together, that's good combi, right? You really can get things done. You don't need to walk around and say, what should I write, what's word? We have some keywords, but how should I put it together? So you really can, back to our intro, you can really get productive. And the word Copilot, the quality, you get the suggestions, which when we try it out, especially you think they're very good, but you still are in charge before you send out. So you really can get things done, and try it out or get hold of us, because is it even perhaps in a better quality and around the tone, etc. So quality and productivity definitely are in play here, if you ask me. A little colored.
And while you've been, talking, Michael, I fired up the actual app.
Yeah.
I've changed the prompts a little bit. You can add more, like crazy one who is fellow mind. Stupid, but just for the demo.
Oh, yeah.
And now you have 4 key points. You can go add more and more and more. You can decide the tone of voice between casual, engaged, formal, luxury. Let's go with casual. And then you can, get ideas. And the system will, look into the vast internet to see if there's any appropriate content. It will actually also look into the sea of emails you created yourself up until now. And then the series of suggestions is here. And for me to select, I can get more if I'm not satisfied with what's been in the system for now. Look at this, trust fellow mind, and start taking care of your German Shepherd. There's no sense in this, but just for the example, it respects the keywords that I put in. And I can then add it to my draft, click here and say, hey, this needs to go maybe here this time.
And for the record, by the way, you may please ask questions on the call here, and I will see them. And if we don't have time, we'll get back to you. Jesper, and by the way, we are using exactly custom insights in the group of fellow minds. So,
yes.
So just for the record.
Yes, of course we are. It's a very mature product. It's been in the market for a while. Tops all of list Gartner have and what have you. So it's basically a no-brainer. It's used by companies big and small across all geos. So this was an example of how to build, the browse ideas or content ideas things readily available for you in the task list over here. Now we're looking into how do we maybe make this more consistent in terms of formatting, which is also a very common task for marketeers.
Indeed.
Spent quite a lot of time, picking the right fonts, at least until you build out templates. But before that, color schemes to be in correspondence with your websites, graphics, all of these things. In terms of graphics, it's coming, but for the rest, it's already here in the so-called theme Copilot. and I know the product team is working heavily to make this a really, really rich and mature experience for marketeers. So again, looking at this email here, maybe we would want to, adopt the color scheme of our website, or let's say Microsoft's website. For now, we only have one, color in our palette, which is, I assume, dark blue. But we would want to know if we have like 6 or 7 colors on our website, we would want them to be readily available here to pick from, instead of having to go into the color editor all the time. And to do just that, I don't know if you noticed, but up here, there's a thing called Kickstart Your Theming Process.
Wow.
I want you to enter your website URL. And once you do that, and for the example, we'll go with Microsoft. So right now it's Microsoft. You can test it out using your own website, perhaps. But once you go with a website, I also use Xbox for demos. You can go fetch styles, and the Copilot will then, work on it, obviously, and then come back slowly but surely with a set of colors. And those who've been on the Microsoft website will recognize that these are the colors that Microsoft use a whole lot.
And these are questions about the color codes, yes, but we have got for the whole year round, and our customer persons that asked the question were quite satisfied with the answer.
They were. Because sometimes this is
it's actually important.
It's the thing that makes the deal, basically.
Yeah.
So now, again, before this, we were, on the content ideas. Now we go to the theme. So it's pretty easy to work, with the different sections of what you can do. So clicking the theme, kickstart your theme process. As we saw before, it wants you to key in a website address. So we go Microsoft.com, we go fetch styles. And this little shallow color palette will, in a moment, be expanded with the color schemes of the Microsoft website. And here it is. And not only the color palette, we can also come down to see the headings, if they adopted the fonts and the colors and what have you.
Exactly.
How about buttons and what have you, hyperlinks. And you can also add your custom fonts if the one that it picks up, Verdana, is nothing you would want.
So those of you who might not be working in marketing production, content production, might seems like, is this important? But as we experience, it is so important. And happy to learn to see a bunch of tools that can match this. It means something for the marketeer person who wants to bring quality in every content.
Yes. And as a side note, actually, this set of Copilots that we're showing you today is being actually bundled into a new overarching Copilot for marketing that also is being expanded with a brand new capability that lets you upload a campaign brief into the system, be it a document or what have you, and the system will generate campaign collateral for you, emails, graphics, journeys, what have you. Kind of a bundle of what we're showing you today. So this was the theming. We went through all of this.
Yes.
So helps you now, up until this point, define an audience, generate body text content, style your email. So now you're exceptionally good to go in terms of sending out compelling communication to the target audience that will be of benefit for you. And the sending out is done using a thing called journeys in this system, not campaigns, but journeys. And there's a journey Copilot The journey builder inside the marketing app is so rich and mature that it can do a ton of things, and there is perhaps a little learning curve to it. But again, you can invoke the Journey Copilot to help you build out journeys using natural language, as we've seen before. And I'm actually pretty impressed with this Copilot Journey Builder. You can feed it quite explicit commands, like the one I show you here. Send this email event invitation to the segment contacts in the account controls of coffee. If the email isn't opened within 7 days, then send an email reminder. If the recipient registers for the event, then send the confirmation email. A very typical journey that I can build out simply by feeding the Copilot this prompt. Is this magic? I don't know, but it works.
But compared to a few years ago, Jesper, when you and I toured industries, being exact in your writing, sometimes you are more exact when you express, I want this. Or you talk to a colleague or your manager and say, why don't we do this? If this, okay, feed it.
Yeah.
But it takes out a lot of text maneuvering.
Yeah.
Of course, you check it before you enter.
Yeah, and I fed it. I fed the Copilot this exact sentence. You should know the double quotation marks to designate the exact email you want from your system, the exact segment.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little hint for you. Once you key this in, you can go generate, and the system will actually display for you the interpretation of what you just said. Journey will start for all contacts in this segment. That's right. Send this email event. Yes, that's right. If the customer opens the email, contacts exits the journey. That's right. Otherwise, blah, blah, blah.
I love this from the first time I saw it, because you have this text. Somebody likes to see the rich prosa text, the Hemingway text. But others like to see it sliced up as you just saw, as you just showed, right? So I really like this one.
And actually, this also works in reverse, so you can ask the Copilot to describe a segment you built. So if you want to send this over, please also note, that there's a little depiction of how this will look. It's not complete. To have the complete view of how this will look, we will have to go and say, hey, use this guy, create the journey for me. And there it is. It creates the journey. And we can verify that it starts out with a segment. So if you look closely, the segment is over here. So it actually, picked up on the segment I pointed out here. And then it's sending the email I told it to.
Yeah.
It's also, looking at a window of 7 days before it starts sending out,
as you asked it,
a specific reminder.
Yeah.
And then perhaps a little modification call for here in terms of if they registered, it did pick up the condition that we want to take into account if they registered or not, and then send a confirmation. But maybe in real life I would shuffle this a little bit, but it's a brilliant starting point, and it actually picked up on basically most of the things I told it to.
Do you like it?
I do like it. And let's see how this looks in real life. So I've taken the liberty of adding this prompt into my extended clipboard. Again, send the email, blah, blah, blah. If I don't want Copilot to build anything, I can go skip. But let's go and give it a shot. And it's, slowly but surely generating a suggestion. It's Thursday afternoon. Maybe it's a bit tired. But it will come up. Here is the suggestion, like we saw before. Journey will start. Otherwise, do.
Yeah.
And go create the journey.
Yeah.
And as we saw before, it picked up on the segment, picked up on the email with the invitation.
Yeah.
Loading here with a little preview. You're invited. This is marketing in effect for you, so you can preview the emails without even, navigating to this. Worthful, absolutely, in terms of productivity.
So.
Then again, a branching condition picked up on the 7 days. The reminder email was here. Did you forget? The condition, if the recipient registered for the event, so it actually picked out the correct trigger for you, which is a registration event.
Yeah.
Also, good learning experience, how to leverage the capabilities like this, and then send out the reminder here and there. And yeah, basically, this is a really, really excellent effort about solving the journey that I told it to solve.
Yeah.
And this was the Copilot. And obviously, there's other things to this, but yeah, again, you can learn a lot from using these Copilots.
Jesper, we stressed in the beginning of this broadcast what lies within marketing. So once we see this, I hope, I would expect that ideas come up. Because what we experience is that many organizations actually are not lowballing, but they're holding back even communication internally. Large organizations, perhaps regional, or because it takes a bunch of time to craft, get it approved, and send it out, and getting a journey that fits their colleagues. So when is enough? But the internal communication, secondly, the communication to your business partners or your stakeholders,
yes.
or a university, you have your alumni segments, you have your industry expert segments.
There is so many use cases as you trying to describe.
Yeah.
The system supports sending out commercial emails. That's what it is. It has the richest content management set of capabilities I've ever seen. Content management is of the essence in terms of GDPR. But you can also, leverage the system for your transactional emails. Set up triggers if this and that happens within your organization. Maybe something breaks down, what have you.
Yeah.
You can set up automated journeys, leveraging triggers and segments to send out, transactional, informational pieces for your employees or customers as such. It's not just a commercial aspect in the system. It's also solving communication as a whole.
And if you have seen some of our previous broadcasts out of Fellermind on the Dynamics and Business Applications suite, but also in general in Microsoft technology, you will have noticed the rich custom insights software that also enholds event management and the must-have features when you're doing larger programs. For instance, a whole bunch of activities geographically spread out, but as part of a go-to-market effort, Q1, Q2, and then have that combined with what you just showed us. So the motor of planning and execution of larger marketing, collaboration, communication programs lies just at your fingertips, because the Copilot that now lies and lives in anything that Microsoft brings to the table gives you a very, very fast jumpstart in collaborating on larger programs that usually get stuck or get very political. That leads me to closing up, Jesper, because it's also all about people and getting people on board. And if we look at, let me just get back to the slides here, if I can, or we can just continue on yours, Jesper.
Yeah, let's just switch view.
This is This takes the classical seriousness about onboarding your people, onboarding your organization, and actually having a quality mindset in planning your tryout. And what Fellermind has been doing, especially, is crafting these practical tryouts in a safe, controlled manner and environment. So we urge you to not stop dreaming. We want you to dream and then think, how can we do it? And then grab us. We have so many nice experiences in calibrating. Okay, how much do we need to look at your data or your security for you not to get not a good experience? If you just jump into it, you might get the best experience in the world, but it takes a little planning. But it's not a phantom work. It's actually something that we have done now plus 100 times around our countries. This is an example. And what we see is one organization is good to go on their data, another one is good to go on security, but the other one wasn't. So not to do a whole textbook about governance, security, cloud infrastructure, data is king. Of course, this lies as a prerequisite, and the disciplines have not become more important than they are now. So we urge you to build your plan, grab us to build this plan. I mentioned a case where 5,000 users entered the tryout at Novo Nordisk, but we also do tryouts with 10, 12, 40 people. It's all about getting a plan that actually takes care of and prepare what do we want out of it, the lowest hanging fruits, how do we do it, what are we feasible technical-wise, mindset-wise, etc. And once you have tried it out, then not only see, okay, we got this out of it, but have a plan for how do we prioritize, really bringing it into the daily digital workplace with our colleagues, maybe with our customers and partners. So the onboarding in real life also takes a little planning, and we're here to step in on that. Which feature do you like the most, Jesper? Of today's?
I think it came through from the presentation. I like the Copilot journey a lot. It's becoming more and more mature, and I look forward to the introduction of the grand Copilot that Microsoft has in the making. That kind of collates all of these into one Copilot and adds this specific piece of capability that lets you provide the system with a campaign brief, and the system will generate collateral, journey, more and more stuff for you in the container of a campaign, which many customers has been asking about. So you can track all the artifacts that's part of a campaign the way you could in previous editions of the system.
That's really, really, really powerful.
But that's in preview right now, and maybe if we are lucky, we can show you that on the next broadcast that we're planning.
On that note, stay tuned. What we bring to the air, get hold of us. Don't hesitate. Step in on our broadcast series on YouTube and in our landing pages. Grab any Fellermind colleague or Microsoft tier. It's anyway very so exciting to talk about what you're missing not stepping into this to be a little harsh in the end. Thanks for listening in.
Thank you for listening in.
And see you next time.